Hi, welcome back to another episode of No Small Talk. And I'm here to tell you about books. No, but to be honest, this book is about the difference between success and failure and that you have to be obsessed with what you do. I'm Selma and I've been reading non-fiction books for the past 10 years. I do want to say I'm no expert. I don't want to sell you a course. I just want an honest conversation from me to you. So today we have this book on the roster. Yeah, it's just quick and easy if you want more out of life. And I would say I always want more out of life. It's written by Grant Cardone and it wasn't necessarily on my list, but I just discovered it online. I thought I might as well read it. And I have to say, it put a mirror in front of me and I was like, I'm sleeping on my life. I could do so much better. The essence of his message, I believe, is that he says you have to try your best in everything you do. You cannot half-ass anything. You really have to try your best and you really have to be present. And you really, if you want to make it a success, whatever that is for you, you need to bring your A game. And that message is also explained in a previous book I've reviewed, The 4 Agreements. Maybe I can put it somewhere here on the screen. So let's dive into this book. The first thing he says is, be obsessed with the vision. If you look at the greatest people in sports of all time, they were not thinking, oh, it's Thursday, I don't feel that well, I'm feeling kind of lazy today, I'm not going into the gym or I'm not going on a tennis court. No, they're there every day, they're practicing, they have discipline, they're not led by motivation, they're leading by discipline. It's not even only in sports, it's also in your life. I want to be obsessed about my life in general. So I'm gonna craft my goals, personal and professional, and I'm gonna see what is the thing that I want to focus on. There's only so much your mind can take, so you really need to focus on and lock in on those things that you really care about. And then he also says, and this I think is especially right in business, if you have an idea, maybe you want to sell a product or a service, or maybe you want to bring a community together. That idea might get other people excited when you talk about it. You need to be the biggest fan of that idea. So, for example, you're with a friend and you talk about your business idea and she thinks it's absolutely amazing. It hasn't been done before. You really need to give it a go. And then when she leaves, she's not necessarily going to think about your idea because even though she's excited, you need to be more excited about your product. People really need to see that you are able to stick around. I'm going to expose myself here. I have this idea for quite some time to interview people about their jobs in Dutch for young people to really see what this profession is about. So I have that idea and I talk about it so much and people are so excited about it. And they also ask, okay, when are these episodes going to be live? And honestly, I haven't even recorded one of them. Once people see that you are really invested in it and you are doing it on a regular basis and you're able to stick around and you're not going anywhere, then people might think, yeah, I want to invest in that idea. Mentally, financially. So he also talks about 4 degrees of action. It was really interesting because they talked about ownership and accountability for the energy that you're giving. Okay, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. He basically says that if you are not doing something, then you're putting more energy into not doing that thing instead of actually doing the thing, because you're making up excuses for yourself and that also takes energy. So you're wasting your energy. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Look it up. You should never play the victim. You are the director, the producer, the writer of your life. You really choose your life. And sometimes it can feel unfair. Things happen to you, situations happen to you. And it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you react to it. But he says, if a person plays the victim, now listen to this because these are some facts. If a person plays the victim, that person is giving away their responsibility. As a consequence, they are not able to think of solutions or create success. And who's taking responsibility then? Because everybody else is busy with their own lives. They're not taking responsibility of your life as well. When you say, oh, I don't this, I don't, you're passive. You're in a passive state. You let things happen to you because you are the victim. No, you have to take action. You have to take responsibility, and you're going to fail. And failure is also part of life, but you need to try at least. The third thing is about overcommit and overdeliver. Let me give you an example. I give math trainings to high school kids for their exams. And someone asked me, hey, can you also do a training where they have this and this type of math? Well, I am overly qualified because I did this in high school and I also studied this in university as well. So I'm also already overqualified, but I haven't delivered that type of training yet. So I thought to myself, okay, I have two options. I could say yes, but I don't have the experience, and maybe I want to also see what someone else does with those topics and those subjects and how someone else makes that training. Or the second one, and the second one was overcommit. I just read this book and I was like, yes, I'm going to say yes to everything that I'm qualified for and that I can deliver. Maybe I haven't done it yet, but I can do it. It's going to be a first time. I'm going to learn from it. So I said yes, and then I knew these high school kids were counting on me. I have to over deliver. So I worked weekends and nights on my training, on my content, on the fact that I would be the person to give the best training ever. I gave the training and they were so happy, and I was pleased because I just gained another training in my portfolio. So that was a win-win-win. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is omnipresence. The concept of being everywhere at all times. You have to be everywhere. You have to be in people's minds. There's one thing, I cannot remember the brand. Okay, so Jo Malone said in a podcast that she was way back. She opened the first store in London, but they didn't have any budget for advertisement. So what they did was they let people walk around the high street with her bags with nothing in it, but they were walking with bags and other bags, so it felt like they were shopping. And then other people saw those bags and they were like, okay, that's interesting. I also want to buy from that brand. So with zero budgeting, she still managed to invite people into her store with really smart marketing strategies. Yeah, so that is all I have for you today. I hope you liked it. I hope you gained some insight. I hope to see you on the next one.